Everybody, here we have two different Dell computers in for service. On the one on the left has viruses and needs viruses removed and Windows 8 updated to Windows 8.1, and the one on the right I simply got to move some files to. Today I want to do a comparison between a modern day consumer grade laptop and a modern day business grade laptop. On the left you have a pretty budget in Dell Inspiron laptop from 2012, comes with Windows 8. And on the right we have a very nice mobile workstation, Dell Precision M6500. Very nice laptop. Now, one thing that you'll notice that's common between most consumer grade laptops and business grade laptops, it's the screen. You may notice that the screen on the right has a very high resolution, whereas this one here has your typical resolution. And I must say, it seems like the build quality of consumer grade products has just, has went down the commode. I mean, used to be, back in like 2008, Dells of that era were still decently built. Like, take for example my Inspiron 1525. I've done many videos of that, and you can see the lid itself is pretty well built. The keyboard is of good quality. The palm rest is decent. The only thing I don't like about it is the touchpad, but that's a different thing. The touchpad itself is built well. It's just not a good quality one. I kind of prefer Synaptics touchpads, not Alps that Dell likes to use in a lot of their systems. But anyways, it seems like around 2010 or 2011 or later, it's like the quality of consumer grade products has just gotten much worse. I mean, take for example the keyboards on these things. I've seen so many laptop keyboards lose keys on newer laptops, and I've seen pretty much ever. And that's another thing my Inspiron 1525 has, is a decent keyboard. The keys are well built, and like I mentioned, that laptop is now 6 years old and I haven't lost a single key off of it. I've seen many laptops younger than that, much younger than that, lose keys. This one here, fortunately, does have all of its keys. Another thing that I've noticed that consumer grade laptops have nowadays is very flimsy lids. They have no structure at all. Guess what provides the structure itself? And it's probably one of the most fragile things on a laptop besides the hard disk drive. That's right, the LCD panel. The LCD panel is what is giving this lid its overall structure. Now, I'm not going to actually shut this lid because it'll put the computer to sleep, and I don't want that right now. But usually these newer lids do have some sort of magnet to kind of keep the lid closed, and I have nothing against that. But you may notice that a lot of older laptops and pretty much modern day consumer business grade laptops have a latch on the lid, so you have to press something to open it. So anyways, you can see how flimsy this lid is. Very thin plastic all around. Very poor quality. And another thing I want to focus on is, just the design of the structuring of the laptop. I've seen so many consumer grade laptops nowadays have very poor structuring. Not only in, as in the lid I just mentioned, but overall in general. You can hear this is kind of cheap sounding. It sounds about the same in regards to the palm rest, but the precision over here is built much better. I'll get onto it here shortly. But anyways, one of the final things I want to mention about consumer grade laptops that has really impacted them over the past few years is the build quality of the motherboards and the cooling system. It seems like probably since 2007 or 2008, the quality of laptop motherboards, or just build quality of cooling systems, has just went downhill big time. I posted a video some time ago of a cooling system that I pulled out of an older Dell laptop from the early 2000s. It was fully copper, and it was designed to pull heat off of the chip. These newer ones nowadays usually have a copper heat pipe, but aluminum fins and sometimes aluminum heat plate that actually goes onto the CPU. They don't do near as good of a job of transferring heat, and it seems like, especially with HPs, they're designed to clog up with dust so easily. And I mean, Dell is not generally known for having poor quality cooling systems, but HP is notorious, in my experience, of having some of the crappiest cooling systems you'd ever seen on a laptop. Take, for example, the HP DB6000 series laptops. The ones with AMD processors and NVIDIA chipsets had mass failures. And now, while I like AMD, it seems like prior to their APU-based laptops, they were not very reliable because the cooling systems on those laptops weren't doing a good job of keeping them cool, so they got very hot, talking about 95 to 110 degrees Celsius, enough to, hot enough to burn yourself really easily if you touch them on a laptop, and eventually just burn out the, the components. What actually happens is little bitty solder joints up under the chipset crack and, get brittle and cause poor connection to the motherboard, causing the motherboard to fail. I've seen this happen with DV6000s, Presario CQ62s, and there's so many other HP brand laptops. I've even seen Toshiba laptops fail due to this. And I mean, it's something you didn't always see back in the old days. It used to be the laptops lasted a lot longer than the consumer grade ones did. Now the Intel ones do seem to be able to hold up to excessive heat from overheating better than the AMD based ones prior to the APU ones. But if they would just build the cooling systems right from the factory and design them to where, not the only source of air was up under the bottom side of the laptop, and design them to where they didn't clog up so easily with dust and have such crappy quality fans, I think these laptops will last quite a bit longer. So anyways, now that I've discussed my opinions on a consumer grade laptop, let's look at this business grade one. This one has Windows 7 Enterprise, and I would say it's probably from 2010 through 2012, sometime in that era. The one on the left here has a Celeron processor. Let me see what kind of CPU this one has. Look at that screen, will you? Very high res. Has a Core i7 920. Very good CPU. But it's not necessarily about specifications that I'm talking about here. It's about build design. So let's go ahead and start talking about that. I pointed out earlier how this laptop here has a latch to keep the lid closed when transporting. You may also notice that this lid is built much better. Notice how it has a lot of structure to it. It's not fully structured around the LCD panel. Now if you notice that if I press down through here, I can feel there's good structure in here. Good shell here. Good plastic shell there. Good structuring all around. When I press in the back, the LCD doesn't, act like it's under stress or anything like that. It definitely feels like it's got good structuring to it. Now back here, look at this one again. Look at how flimsy this is. I'm barely pressing down on it, it's going in. Now, you can't see anything on the LCD panel, but I mean, look at this. Look how thin this plastic is. Even my Inspiron 1525 has a good shell behind the LCD panel on the lid. I mean, these newer lids are just absolute junk. No wonder so many LCDs fail. But anyways, again, this one here is built very well, as to be expected from a Dell business laptop. They've done it with Latitudes and they've done it with these. Another thing you'll notice is the keyboard. The keyboard is like you would typically see with older Dells. The keys are designed to where they don't easily get caught on things and get ripped out. And the keyboard itself, I mean, the keys themselves seem, very well designed. Like, I'll press the Windows key on this one. Have a listen. Whereas with this one, have a listen. I mean, this keyboard here is not the worst I've seen. I've seen ones much worse than this from Dell on newer laptops. But the keyboard on this one is built very well. And another thing is the structure of the laptop itself is built very well. This laptop's kind of heavy. I believe it actually has multiple hard drives in it, but you notice it just seems like it's built, built to last, not break within 2 years, or 2 months, or 2 weeks, or 2 days. Seems to be built very, very well. Now, even if we look at the AC adapters for these guys, excuse my mess right there. I've been working on power supplies. Over there is the little power brick for this one. Even Dell has started to get worse with their power bricks. Their older power bricks were much bigger than this, and this one here it's not hot as a match, but it's a little warm. But you compare it to the size of the brick that goes with this one. Now, of course, this is a much bigger laptop. Has a much bigger CPU, all that stuff. Probably has multiple hard drives and all that. So it's kind of be expected to have a bigger power brick. This one here is pretty warm to the touch. This one here obviously can supply a lot more power when needed. And as I mentioned earlier, if you look at the compared to quality of the lids on these two, I mean not the lids, the displays on these, the resolution is just so much better. Okay, there's a focus of the LCD on that one. And look at the clarity of this display here. I mean, it's so much more clear. Obviously, because it's a bigger resolution, and so means there's a lot more room to work. And that's critical on laptops. Very critical on laptops. Say you have lots of room to do your stuff. So anyways, this concludes a video comparing a modern day business laptop with a modern day consumer grade laptop. This should show you just how poorly made modern day consumer grade laptops are. I mean, it's pathetic, to be honest. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.